The next thing I want to cover with you is one of the most important lessons my rich dad gave me, and it was called the cash flow quadrant. And what my rich dad explained to me is that there's four people in business. One are E's, employees. S stands for small business, self-employed, or specialist. B stands for big business, and I stands for investor. And the thing of note here is that most people who go to school are programmed for the E and the S side. For example, it was my poor dad who always said to me, son, go to school so you can get a nice, safe, secure job. And so my poor dad wanted me to be an employee. And since the time I was a kid, get a safe, secure job, steady paycheck, and benefits. Okay? I didn't want to be an employee. And I said, Mom and Dad, I want to be a rich man. And I fight with my dad. So my mother finally said, son, if you want to be rich, my mother was a registered nurse. And she said, if you want to be rich, the richest people I know are doctors. So my mom wanted me to come over here, be a specialist or a small business person. I said, there's only one problem with that, Mom. Doctors are really smart. And she says, you got a good point there. I'm not going to be a doctor. So I went to school. I have a Bachelor of Science degree. I can drive ships and I can fly planes. I flew for the Marine Corps. But I've never used any of that education because I wanted to become a business owner. So it was my rich dad who basically said to me, become a business owner and learn to be a professional investor. So one of the big differences here between these people is that it's called taxes. See, in 1943, in the U.S., the federal government passed a law that said employees had to pay tax before they got paid. So when you get your paycheck from your employer, you open it up, and voila, the government's always taken a sizable chunk of it. And the harder you work and the more money you make, the more money they take from you. So that's why it's not that good to be an employee, because you can never get ahead, because the more you work, more money you make, the greater they pay in taxes. Now, the doctors, the lawyers, and attorneys, accountants were all laughing, saying, oh, these guys, they're getting paying a lot of taxes. So naturally, the federal government changed the laws again. So in 1986 in the U.S., a thing called the 86 Tax Reform Act, and it basically took a lot of the benefits away from people who are self-employed, small business, doctors, and lawyers. So today in America, unfortunately, these guys pay the highest percentage in taxes. It is tragic. And a lot of people think they're investors, but what they're really doing is they're just giving their money to people like mutual funds, companies, and all that. So they're investing, but they're not really investors. See, the big tax breaks are on this side. The laws are pretty tight here, but this area is very, very gray. So by being a business owner on the right-hand side of the quadrant, you can make a lot more money and pay a smaller percentage of taxes legally. And the key word is legally. In the investor quadrant, it is possible to make millions of dollars and pay 0% taxes legally. But you've got to know the difference. So one of the beauties of business for the 21st century is it allows people to make the transition from the E and the S side to the B side especially. And so you can become a big business owner. And the difference between an S and a B, small business and big business, is most of these guys can't quit working. Most small business owners, if they stop working for more than a month, the business collapses. They don't really have a business. Most of these people own a job. So the beauty of business for the 21st century, it allows these people to make the transition to the B side so that you don't have to keep working hard for money, and the money can actually come in passively. Then once you have your business up and running, then I always recommend you then begin investing with your excess cash, paying less and less in taxes. And that's the reason the rich are getting richer.
Great day, another opportunity. Always super excited to be here with you, great people. And I'm even more excited to be connecting and learning from those who have been in the game for so long, those who have been weathering the storms and I mean, like he stated, the rich are getting richer while many people are getting hurt. Poor middle class are getting actually wiped out. And this is only because, great people, not open to new information. So I want to welcome everyone to A Rich Education's Wealth Strategy here with Demi Sanya. Many of you know me out there in the social media world, and many may just be hearing my voice or seeing me for the first time. So great people, I'm going to do my best to go through this wealth strategy, because as you know, we're in some different times and we're not in our granddaddy's economy anymore. We're completely in a completely different economy, and it's an economy that's based on information. What information are we getting? What information are we accepting? And are we willing to make simple changes within our lives so we can actually do good in an economy that looks like it's, well, not look like it, it's going in a different direction. So great people, I want to do my best to bring you some information that is solving a lot of problems in our financial space today. But with that being said, great people, the key thing that you're going to really have to invest in is investing in yourself. So let's move forward, because I have to read this disclaimer. This will probably be the only slide in this information that I'm going to go through from the top to the bottom. Please note that the information provided in this presentation by A Rich Education is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and is not intended to serve as the financial advice. The content is designed to inform and empower you to make informed decisions about your personal finances, but it should not be considered a substitute for financial advice. We strongly encourage you to conduct your own research before making any financial decisions and implementing a financial strategies, or implementing any financial strategies. A Rich Education assumes no responsibility for your financial losses as a result to use or reliance on the information provided in this presentation. By continuing to view this presentation, you acknowledge and agree to the content herein for educational purposes only, and that you are solely responsible for your own financial decisions. So great people, I'm so excited. Let's move forward with this, because in today's time, we just need the right information. The scripture says, my people perish for what? You've heard it several times, the lack of knowledge. So it's not actually, anyone's fault but yours, but we have to understand that the information we've been fed, the information that was talked about at the dinner table, away from how good those biscuits and gravy taste. I hope you're eating healthy too. We didn't talk about money. It's one of our most important things after our health. But the key thing is, great people, how are we looking at all the changes that have been taking place in our financial space, big changes? Are we taking advantage of opportunity? So it seems like a lot of people are working harder for what we think is money, but they just are finding it really hard to get ahead. And great people, with all of the things that are changing, financial pressure, families today are causing fear, uncertainty, and doubt on a larger scale. And I was actually listening and reading one of my newsletters by this great gentleman who wrote this book, The Road to Ruin. And in this book, great people, by Jim Rickards, who's actually one of Mr. Robert Kiyosaki's mentors, coaches, the gentleman we heard when we first started this presentation. But he wrote this book right here, The Global Elite Secret Plan for the Next Financial Crisis. And I was reading my newsletter, and I couldn't believe this, that people making $500,000 a year don't have $500 to cover an expense for emergency that comes up. So with that being said, and with all due respect, it's just the mentality. We want to impress the Joneses. We want the big cars. We want the big houses. But if we can't come up with $500, great people, that means that there's something going on mentally with us. And this is what the traditional system is teaching us. And it's not giving us what we need to know, which is the major changes that are taking place. So it's just us having to know what is assets, what's liabilities, and what's important in the times we're living in. But 44% of Americans say they don't have $500. I'm going to add $100 to this, making $500,000 a year to cover a simple expense. So we see prices increasing, great people. This is just inflation, okay? We're going to talk about that, and we see everything is going up, okay? And I mean, these are important things to recognize, because if your income isn't going up, but the things that you want to do, the enjoyment that you deserve, the trips that you want, the eating that you want, your electric bill, your cost of living is going up, your medical insurance is going up. What is the solution for these things? So we see this timeline right here, but one of the most key things on this timeline is 1971. And in 1971, great people, this is when the US dollar came off the gold standard. Robert Kiyosaki calls him Tricky Dick Nixon, and he says it was his fault, but I mean, it was just said to happen, great people. The dollar has lost over 96% of its purchasing power. And this has been since the Federal Reserve, which once again was in 1913. I'm not going to go through this whole timeline, but the most important on here is the key thing of what happened in our history in 1971 when we came off the gold standard. And this is nothing new, great people. It's been going on in history. And like Mark Twain says, history doesn't repeat itself, but it sometimes rhymes. And we got to understand, great people, that this isn't anything new. We see one of our most recent, which is not on this, that basically printed so much cash they had about 1,500% inflation. Well, we don't want those numbers coming here, great people, but it's happened before, and history, once again, doesn't repeat, but it sometimes rhymes. In Venezuela, 1 billion of their currency called the bolivar, 1 billion of them would only buy a chicken and 1 egg. So great people, this is just us learning from the past, and we may say, well, that will never come to America, but we're already experiencing certain things. So these are just some of the fiat currencies, great people, the correct name for cash that have gone to zero, and the $1 trillion note. So you've had trillionaires in Zimbabwe, right? The $1 trillion note in Zimbabwe, great people, wouldn't buy anything. So it's happening today, great people. The money supply, even though there's so much going on, I want to do my best to keep this super simple, but we are actually in $31 trillion in debt. So that kind of answers the question. So much of this has been cash has been created, and when I was little, I was saying, I didn't know much, or I know zero about money, but when I was little, I was saying, the more they print money, or we had a money tree in the backyard, the more cash, the more cash, great people, that's created in an economy, it becomes more dangerous. So great people, I want to share with you some good names, something called sound money, okay? In the scriptures, it actually mentions gold more times than Jesus Christ. So I thank God, he wants us to become wealthy, but he wants us to get the information on becoming wealthy. So gold and silver are the secret to the wealthy, okay? And this has been for ages. We're talking about over 6,000 years since man walked earth, which is, the earth is over 1 trillion years old, but since man walked earth, gold and silver, sound money, has always been, great people, there for us. And it's what we have to understand. It's not investing other than you investing in yourself, but this is how we preserve. This is how we move forward. This is how we save correctly. And let me share with you, back in what? We look at 1965, 2,000, okay? 500 ounces of silver in 1965 would actually get you this Ford Mustang. But we're going to flash forward to today. Notice it says 2020, 2 Ford Mustangs. That same amount of silver will get you today, great people. But we look, as inflation skyrockets, so does the value of gold and silver. So in Venezuela, they couldn't even afford to get an ounce of silver. We're not talking about getting anything to that masses, maybe in time. We're talking about having small pieces, transaction-friendly pieces of gold and silver in our possession, because this is real money. But as these prices go up, and we see the housing market right now in this situation, really everything in this situation, they call it the everything bubble. And when bubbles burst, there's opportunity, great people, but we don't want to wait until that, because that's when most people won't even want to get, or won't even be able to get their hands on 3 types of money now. Government's money, which is what? Cash. It can be printed, inflated, manipulated, and that's what's going on. But then we have God's money, right? Gold and silver. You can't print it. You have to dig deep for it, right? It's real, okay? And there's different attributes to money, but we're going to do our best to keep it simple. But then you have people's money. This information isn't about people's money, which is cryptocurrency, but great people, it's all about your security. It's all about what's going to protect you, and it's all about having assets in your possession. So we look and see how the housing market has been going, great people. Things are going up. I don't need to read this. If you're looking for a home right now, hey, I wish you all the best, but I don't think that's a smart thing until a certain period in this economy, and you putting yourself in position, saving correctly, and then when everything, hey, it's inevitable to happen, it has to happen, it's going to be a big sale, and you're going to be in position for that. So as we see inflation skyrocketing, this is what happens to the housing market and other things, but gold and silver as well goes up. All right, so what should I do? What should I acquire? How should I trust someone? How much capital do I need to get started on acquiring this asset? And do I need to be an expert to win? And I'm going to tell you, you don't need to be an expert to win. Let me tell you something, man. Those people who actually have those shops that you see, bring your gold for cash, they know what's happening. They want to stack up on as much gold as possible. But we in situations which, with all due respect, sometimes we have to do that if we have gold jewelry, and they'll determine how much real gold is in it. But great people, gold is money. Silver is money. And we, our partnership, who Rich Education is partnered with, great people, we believe that things shouldn't be that hard. You should be able to trust someone. Okay, you should be able to have benefits with getting your gold and silver. Okay, not saying you have to, but there should be some other things. And one key thing I've been learning from a lot of my mentors, that social capital is important. Who are you connected to? Who can you call? Who can you learn from? Who's smarter than you in your network? So this is important. So you deserve a real chance, a chance to build a legacy, great people. And we're just a community of individuals that's stacking, that's protecting, that's building, that's helping one another, that's acquiring these physical assets in our possession, great people, so that we can move ahead and do well in a good or a bad economy. How does that sound? I mean, how does that sound? Does that sound good? Don't you want to do well? Because the number one economy is the economy in your home. So we built a membership, and I mean, you guys are used to memberships. I mean, I know I have a few memberships, right? I have a few residual bills that come in, but I mean, hey, Costco, Sam's Club, Spotify. I mean, there are a few companies out there, Amazon, Prime. So we're used to having memberships, great people, so it's nothing new that's coming in our life. So we built a membership just for you, okay? A standard membership and a premium. Let's go into this, great people. I'm super excited because with this type of membership, you're building wealth, okay? So where do you start? You start with just getting your bullion, your silver. Silver's so important. I remember reading an article with that Elon Musk was speaking about getting a silver mine, because those cars, this computer that I'm using, this beautiful smartphone, great people, all these things have those assets inside of them, the satellites in the sky. So it's an important asset to have, great people. Right now, gold and silver, I can like to say it's on sale, but I also like to share with people, when you're acquiring gold and silver, you're not really spending money, you're just exchanging a devaluing piece of paper for real money. Okay, so physical gold and silver bars, rounds, bullion available. They only, and that word sell is there in the presentation, but I just don't like the word because people think they're buying. I'm going to talk about that, but get it in your mind, you're just exchanging, because gold and silver can be liquidated just like this. And you can actually borrow from yourself and go back and get your gold and silver in certain places. We actually have that amenity here. So no minimum, no maximums, fractional gold and silver program, so anyone can get started, right? Fast and easy liquidation. I just briefed on that process to the market. And also, great people, easily transact with other members using gold and silver. Next level, great people. So let's go into this. Now, what are collectibles? Okay, because see, you want your offense and defense when it comes to building wealth. I mean, just imagine a team that had an offense, right? Just imagine a team but no defense, right? That means that the other team is just going to, I mean, they have an offense, but you need both. You need the strategies for both. So what are collectibles? When it comes, just imagine you having this comic book that dated back to 1962 in perfect shape. This comic book right here, great people, 3.6 million at an auction, okay? But this comic book back then, 12 cents, okay? So look, we're taking it to the next level. We're dealing with collectibles in the precious metal side. See, the wealthy people, what do, great people? I mean, you've heard it. Just imagine you having a painting of Picasso, Da Vinci, these rare artwork. Just imagine you having that, okay? Historical vehicles, okay? These are things that preserve wealth, great people. So we're doing it on the level. We made it super simple, not just that, super fun for strategies that have a long-term wealth, families to have a long-term wealth strategy through collectibles. Imagine, I know you got $90 because you bought the purse, you bought the shoes, you went on a trip. Okay, I'm just using this as an example. For Tiffany art, original price was $90, current market price today, $8,000 to $10,000. Okay, so this is next level when it comes to building wealth and learning more. You see what I'm saying? Just imagine you had this Montana butterfly. I mean, those pants, that shirt, okay, the things that we got that's not, we have or we've acquired that's not going to really pay us in the near future. I mean, you had this, you've had this money. I mean, our eating habits, we spend money, right? for $139, current marketplace, $500 to $1,000. So see, this is the power of how we're leveraging this platform to build wealth in a super simple way. And how we make it easy, we have something called monthly auto saver. We're supposed to be saving money anyway, right? So just imagine you having an auto saver that's automatically going to be saving for you, and you're going to get an email with your shipment on the way or saying thank you for your purchase, right? Collectibles, coin drops. You're going to learn. I mean, we got so much great things going on. And this picture you see in the back, this right here is what we call a gold back. All right, a laminated with gold. You have over 23 states right now that accept gold for products and services. So this is next level. All right, and we have to understand this. And look, this is just one of our great members who's leveraging the membership, who's taking advantage of the knowledge and the information and building wealth for his family. Look at this. Mr. Eddie Spears said, my reason is simple. My grandparents or parents did not come from a wealthy family, right? And I knew that for those I love and care about, that wealth had to come from him. So he's been stacking, as you see, major wealth built. Mr. Christian Latin as well. I mean, look at this guy. Look what he's saying about the company, man. I collect both MS-70s. You're going to learn about this. All right, preserving your wealth, preserving your assets, understanding that this right here, I mean, I can have a whole bunch of houses, which is an asset. Land is an asset. But just imagine, great people, I can't just liquidate my homes that fast. I can liquidate this if I needed to do so. So he says, I collect both MS-70 and bullion on a regular basis. Now I have an incredible collection that has become one of my most prized and valued possessions. Grateful for this company. So great people, much more than just gold and silver. I mean, health plan. Okay, that's affordable. All right, auto saving your wealth. Wealthy people like to just, man, set it and forget it. Go on about your business. Bullion select advantage. Okay, silver coin drops, where you can get an alert on your phone, a text message or email saying this particular rare silver coin or gold coin, you have the opportunity to be maybe the one of the 5,000 people in the world who's holding on to this collectible, right? An IRA. Just imagine you having an IRA, individual retirement account, but guess what? Not any IRA, backed by physical gold, and the opportunity to take advantage. We're going to go into this briefly of 1099. We heard Robert Kiyosaki speaking about the different quadrants when it comes to business, employee, small business, but then big business and also investor. And you can be in a big business right from your smartphone, great people, if you're willing to make some changes, right? So great people, I love all of the benefits that we have with our membership. So let's go into just a few of them. The Sound Money Wallet. Oh my gosh, look. I don't want to go into all of that here, but we're talking about having a bank account on steroids, a bank account that has physical gold, physical silver in a digital way that you can hit a button and it comes to you. You can work towards saving bigger quantities of gold and silver away from your auto saver, okay? Stack and sell. You can be part of that program where you can immediately liquidate, right? And get some cash if that's what you wanted to do. I mean, there are local places that you can go to in your area that you want to go to a good one, that you can do paperwork and be out of there, in and out of there in maybe 10 minutes and go back and get your gold and silver if you didn't want to sell it. But we have these things, personal shopping cart, where you cannot just go shopping for clothes and things, right? You know what I mean? But you can go shopping for assets. And I love this, great people, the benefits that we have. We talked briefly about the advantages of 1099. This puts you in a totally different tax bracket. Once again, not financial advice, but financial information. Legacy income potential. E-commerce, which is one of the biggest spaces out there, okay? Everyone's right now, even as I'm talking, they're shopping. So you get a chance to put yourself in the midst of all of these major industries that's actually putting wealth in your pocket, bringing cash flow to you, great people, allowing you to work towards other things and having a plan B in place that's relevant to the current times that we're living. I'm super excited about that, and I briefed on a gold-backed individual retirement account. So you have training for the person who really wants to take it to the next level. And I mean, we have a lot of people who just say, then I want to keep it simple, but I would love to learn. You're going to have that opportunity, I like to say, with your physical gold, physical silver account. You're going to have that opportunity, great people, to learn about these things. Take your knowledge to the next level. Understand when I briefed on MS-70 and this language that you're hearing for the first time. But once again, gold, silver is not spending, it's exchanging. Gold, silver is how you hedge and protect yourself from inflation. Gold, silver is how you move forward and build something that's going to bring you value forever. That's just, and it's a legacy that you can pass on to the next level. So let's talk about the shared side. You may say, well, Demi, you know, you were speaking a few seconds ago. I didn't understand. I kind of heard you mention 1099 and things of that nature and tax brackets and all this other stuff. And I mean, what's going on with that, man? Well, look, remember how 44% of Americans say they could not cover a $400 emergency expense? And I mentioned that people making almost $1 million don't have $500 because they have so many liabilities, so much big mortgage, big car. You know what I mean? I'm happy for you if that's making you happy, but to work for money in a down economy and what you think is money is going down further and further with its purchasing power, how do you think life is going to become? So great people, for the person who wants to be part of our share, earn points, and get paid, you have the opportunity here. And what we have is something called the dual team system. So for anyone that's been in the, and I like to call it the communication space, learning how to be a good communicator, but in a simple way, because we're in what you call the information age, but you want to be one of the best infopreneurs. You can learn to become one, a person who just knows how to not talk about something, but invite. So it's all about building two teams, great people. For the person who wants to be part of this, we are not doing this for commissions, but we do this to earn points. And feel free, great people, to reach out to me, and my number will be on the screen shortly, where you can actually ask me more questions. You can inbox me wherever you're seeing this, if it's on YouTube or if it's on Facebook, okay? Wherever you're seeing this at, feel free to reach out to me. My phone number is there, because I'm not going to go deep into this, but it's all about teamwork. It's all about helping the next person get to the next level. And the key thing is, great people, with all due respect, there's so many opportunities where you can actually build a home-based business, be in a 1099 tax bracket space, being I like to call it once again an infopreneur. But great people, we're not dealing with products. I don't want to call this a product. This is real money. Okay, even if you didn't want to participate in the shared side, you're not getting a product that you may not take anymore, that may spoil, with all due respect. Okay, it has an expiration date on it. We're saving and protecting ourselves in this economy and building wealth, and super excited about it. So there's nothing wrong with continually saving money the right way, instead of stacking up on something that may go in the trash or may expire, with all due respect. Okay, so this just made sense when I saw this, and when it was broken down to me, and then the potential to unlock, I mean, $500 a week can help anyone. Okay, building your teams of two, and then helping your people that you've helped come in to start saving gold and silver, and start stacking on collectibles, and learning and getting into their training and learning how to be an excellent inviter to Zoom presentations. You're going to help them to get to the next level. So as you can see, all of the different brackets, you just imagine $500 a week, that's $2K a month. That could be life-changing for someone to help them get out of debt. And we got some new additional things that are going to be going on that are actually in position right now, where we're teaching people how to get out of debt the correct way as professionals. We have teaching people how to invest properly. We got all this stuff that's going to be associated with your membership, great people. So you see this, I'm not going to go in depth with this. Feel free to reach out to me if this is something you want to learn more of. But great people, you just imagine, because the window is open. The compensation plan is better. Building those two teams and helping your teammates duplicate the process of what? Saving in physical gold and silver, learning how to get their stack and save, and learning how to get their precious metals and the rare coins, or what we call coin drops. And when points come on your two teams, this is when those points turn and pay you out. So I'm not going to go in depth about how many points, but it's something simple, great people. So as more people come into the network that you're helping communicate, remember, wealthy people have networks. That BNI side that Mr. Robert Kiyosaki talked about, that's how the rich are getting richer. And the other side, where people want to do it on their own, even if you're a small business owner today, great people. And I mean, you do have to have employees, but you own a job like he mentioned. So the employee and the small business owner, or the specialist doctor, lawyer, they're making high income, but they're working super hard. I'm not saying you won't work. This hard here is mental hard. When I say that, not mental hard to stress you out, but will you quit? Because some will, some won't, and it's all love. But today people are waking up. I have people texting my phone all day. They want to know what's going on. They want to understand gold and silver. Some people, with all due respect, overcomplicate it. It is super simple. But the potential is here. Building points in your network on your left and your right team. And this thing will pay you out, great people. So we haven't had anyone yet and I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, hit that 50K per week mark yet, okay? But it is coming because people are so excited about this company, which will be a household name and great people. You will not be disappointed getting your assets and learning. I get super excited about learning, great people, because this is what it's all about. And we got to learn. Okay, remember, I said it before, my people perish for the lack of knowledge, great people. And I want us to, start gaining this information because it's so super exciting. So here are our 2 memberships, great people. Okay, our 2 memberships are right here. You can come in once a year. You pay your membership, $199, okay? We'll give you the basics where you can get a lot of amenities. We're talking about personal website, money, the Sound Money Wallet. We'll go more into that, okay? That's having your own physical gold and physical silver, allowing you to transact between members, your family, if they have a Sound Money Wallet, and we got some other things that's going to be attached to your Sound Money Wallet. I mean, this is just amazing. Coin drop access, 3-month wealth system app. We have our own app, but then you have some other things that are attached to the premium membership, which is $4.99 per year, and this is for the person who just wants some of the other amenities with premium business reporting, for the person who's really say, I'm going to take this thing to the next level, Demi. I mean, you could do that with either, but you got some other great things, and I won't go in depth with them. If you're briefing it with this, you can go back and look at this and pause it, great people. And I just want to let you know that it's so important for us today to make different decisions than what we've been making, so we can be part of a community where we're going to learn, where we can jump on Zooms, where we can go to events and meet in different states, meet in different countries, everyone having fun, everyone building wealth, everyone protecting their wealth, everyone also making money for those who take this serious. Now, I know, you may just want to become a customer. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Feel free, you see my number here, to reach out, Demi. I just want to save physical gold and physical silver. I'll look at some of the other benefits that I may want, but I don't really want to share. Look, that's all good. I'm so super excited. I mean, even if you didn't want to save quick, gold and silver, it's all good. I wish you the best. But great people, I'm just super excited that if that is you, you're just open to building wealth, protecting yourself, and wanting to learn. Okay, but you may be interested in some part-time income. $500 a week, $500 a month may be exciting for you. May help you. And that could take care of a car note. That could take care of electric bill. All right. And if that's you, once again, you'll see my number on the screen right here, great people. Take advantage of that. Get with me. Feel free to send me a text. Okay. Now, but you may be the person who says, you know what, Demi? I see all these major companies, big time companies downsizing. I'm hearing about artificial intelligence. I'm hearing about AI. I'm hearing about these things that are taking place. I mean, I really want to, have something that may put me in position to replace my current situation. And if that's you, once again, feel free to send me a text so I can get you started, answer some questions, invite you to another live Zoom, invite you to some of our trainings so we could walk you through this simple process of building wealth in physical gold, physical silver, and looking at all of the other great amenities that we have to offer. So with that being said, great people, I just want to thank you for your time. You've been freaking amazing. I'm so grateful for your time, you checking out this information. I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm looking forward to helping you and answering all your questions to get started. Remember, I want you to take care, I want you to take heed and stay safe. This is Demi Sanya of Rich Education, tuning in, tuning out. You have an amazing day.